Welcome to the race briefing for the JD Duathlon to be held at Southbridge in conjunction with the Canterbury Secondary Schools Duathlon Champs. First up, the race site is at Southbridge Rugby Club, which is approximately 45 minutes from downtown Christchurch, either coming via Dunsandel or via Lincoln, and it's all signposted, but you will receive notifications with a Google link so you can navigate your way out. For parking, as you pull into the rugby grounds, there will be parking directly in front of you next to the club rooms once that is full, or you can choose to turn to the right and there is parking alongside the rugby fields next to the grandstand. On arrival, if you do need the toilets, they will be located in the club rooms. In terms of registration, if you've done any of the prior events, you should have held on to your bib number, so there's no need to register on the day. If this is your first event of the series, then come to the Triathlon Club tent and you can pick up your bib number there. You are required to wear your bib number on the front during both run legs, and you need to have it on you during the bike. It can be switched around if you have a race belt, so it's on your back. You do need to have it on you during the bike legs. To make this race a success, we need your cooperation in complying with all the COVID rules and guidelines we have. First up, we've limited entries to stay within the level 2 guidelines. We're requesting no spectators attend the event, and we require athletes to social distance at all times during the race itself and whilst at the event. We'll be expanding the transition area to make sure there's plenty of space. You will have heard about the wave starts. We'll talk about that more in a moment. Basically, you need to view this event as an in and out. Come in, arrive, race and leave. So please no socialising, and please do not attend the event if you are unwell with any symptoms whatsoever. If you are a parent of a child racing and you need to come to the event for transportation purposes, please spectate from a distance and do not hang around the transition area. On your arrival at Southbridge, please rack your bike. If you have your bib number from race number 1, you use that. You do not need to re-register, but you do need to pick up a helmet sticker to be put on the front of your helmet, red for open athletes and yellow for juniors, youth and novice. Masks are encouraged for athletes pre and post race, and whilst you're warming up, please remember to be socially distant, and please do not mix with athletes in other events. So that means we need to keep open athletes, juniors and novice athletes separate from the secondary school athletes, and also separate again from those in the kids race. And make sure you all scan in with the COVID app. As far as the start goes, you will be in groups as per the schedule. You'll be starting on the shingle road next to transition. Try to spread yourselves out across the start line to be socially distant, and if you're doing the junior, youth or novice race, just be mindful that as you start your run you may encounter the first 1 or 2 speedsters from the open race coming back into transition. During the race, it's going to be really important that you know the course inside and out, because we will have minimal marshals on the route to make sure that we keep our numbers down. So try to maintain your social distancing throughout the event, no spitting or clearing your nose at any stage, and on completion of the race, please avoid socialising. Finish your event and then head down to your car, start packing your stuff up, and as soon as the last athlete completes the bike leg, we would like people to depart. As far as the schedule goes, there will be no race briefing, so we'll have transition open from 7:30 AM. First race will be the secondary schools event at 9 o'clock with all males and females starting together. At 9:15 we'll have the open race, followed by the juniors that are not in secondary schools, novice and youth at 9:25, and then kick the kids race off around 9:35 on the playing fields. Onto the race course. First up is the run lap, which is a rectangular loop that you'll complete a certain number of laps depending on which event you're in. You'll be starting at the Domain, running up St James Street, and then starting to make left-hand turns, first into High Street, then to Brook Street, then to Broad Street, and then when you come back to St James Street, you'll either be turning left to do additional laps or turning right to head to transition. There is one street that you will need to cross over. There will be a marshal there. You always need to run on footpaths when footpaths are available. So that's in particular on Brook Street. You need to be running on the footpath whenever there is one. If there's no footpath, then obviously keep to the side of the road at all times. Probably the most important part of the run is to obviously know the course. When you are running down Broad Street and you rejoin or hit St James Street intersection, you need to turn left if you're doing extra laps, or right to go to transition. So you do not go back to transition each time to complete a lap. As you complete your first run, you'll be heading towards transition. We want you to stay to the right hand side of the access road. This will allow cyclists to exit the transition area and minimise any crossover. You'll then enter transition, as you can see in this image here, exiting at the far end, pulling a U-turn and then running down the bike and run exit chute, and then run until you get to the mount line. You can get on your bike once you cross over the mount line. The bike course is similar to the run in as much as it is all left-hand turns. So you will exit the transition area, go down St James Street, turn left into High Street, and then follow the course making left-hand turns. There will be marshals on any corner where you need to be making a left-hand turn. When you reapproach transition, you will either need to make a right-hand turn to carry on to complete another lap, or if you're coming to transition, obviously make a left-hand turn. Again, that point will be marshalled, but you do need to use your hand signals so those around you know what you're doing. During the bike course, there are 3 left-hand turns where you need to go through a give-way intersection. So you need to be ready to give way at all these intersections and obey the road code. You'll see the signs on this map here. The first one is your first left-hand turn when you're turning into High Street out of St James Street. The second give way is on Milltown Road when you're turning into Inwards Road, and the third is on Inwards Road when you're turning left into Southbridge Sedgemoor Road. The final give way is when you are approaching transition, where you either turn left to go to transition or finish the bike ride, or you're turning right into St James Street. There will be a stop go on this intersection, but you may still need to give way. And here you can see an overview using Relive, and at the end of this clip we do have a full video overview of the entire bike course. It is all flat, it is all left-hand turns, there is a tiny little hill in there, but otherwise it should be nice quiet roads. The important part with the bike is to know your laps, and whenever you come back into St James Street to complete a lap, you do not turn left to go down to transition. You just make a right hand turn and you head back out for your second or third lap if required. This is the important part, knowing your distances. If you're in the open or teams race, you're doing 2 laps on your first run, 3 laps on the bike, and then 3 laps on your second run. So important to note that your second run is longer than your first. If you're in the novice, youth or junior race, it's excluding the secondary schools athletes, you're just doing 1 lap on the first run, 1 lap on the bike, and then 1 lap on the run. So that's pretty straightforward, 1 of each. The secondary schools champs, this is draft legal on the bike, and much like the other junior race, you're just doing 1, 1 and 1. So 1 lap on the run, 1 lap on the bike, 1 lap on the run. The only difference is with the secondary schools event, it is draft legal on the bike. All other events are non-drafting. Finally, onto the kids race for the 5 to 9 year olds. The kids race will be entirely done within the domain on the grass. So for the run legs, all the kids will do the same first and last run. The bike course will be subject to the ground conditions, but if all is good, the 5 to 7 year olds will do 2 laps of the course you can see here, and the 8 to 9 year olds will do 3 laps. It is okay for parents to sort of shadow their children through the event if you feel that they need company in order to be able to complete the race. You will note on the second run, which is the blue line, you'll see they kind of run around the field, run in behind the club rooms, then they will join onto the shingle road and run towards the finish line, pull a U-turn and run down the finishing chute to complete their day. We're really happy to have the secondary schools duathlon champs at this event. Key points, all secondary school students will be in the first race of the day. The bike leg is draft legal for the students. However, even though it is draft legal, you need to keep single file unless you're lapping it out on the front. So you cannot be riding along 2 or 3 abreast, getting all over the road. The normal road rules apply, and you also need to be ready to give way at any of the intersections we mentioned previously. Medals will be awarded to each in the category for the top 3 in the under 14s, under 16s and under 18s, with the age being taken on the 1st of January this year. No aero bars are allowed in the event, and the distances, as already mentioned, is just 1 lap on the run, 1 lap on the bike, 1 lap on the second run, so nice and fast and good action, and boys can draft off girls and vice versa. We've got the basic rules listed on this image you can see here. The rest can all be found within the full race manual. Key rules we want to point out is you cannot wear any headphones during this event whatsoever. Drafting is not allowed on the cycle leg unless you're doing the secondary schools event, and really important that we point out the roads are not closed. We do have a traffic management plan in place to make the course as safe as possible, but the roads are certainly not closed. Medical personnel have the right to remove any competitor from the race, and the race director's decision is final. You need to have your helmets on at all times when you're touching your bike, and the rest should be all in the race manual. If you've got any more questions around draft distances, etc., you'll be able to find those in the race manual. Next up, we have a full video overview of the course taken on the front of the car. It is fast forward, but still gives you a good feel for the course. All left-hand turns. Roads, for the most part, are pretty smooth. A few little lumpy bits, as you'd expect on open roads, but should be nice and quiet. As always, keep to the left and obey the road rules. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on race day. If you have got any further questions, please refer to the race manual, as that has got more detail than this overview. So have a good build up, see you on race day.